Israel's F-35I Adir fleet is currently undergoing a massive structural upgrade. By integrating stealth-compatible fuel tanks and external beast mode weapon racks, the Israeli Air Force is attempting to push the platform further and strike harder than any other F-35 variant in operation. Before we break down the engineering behind these modifications, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into global air power. To understand why these upgrades are necessary, we have to look at the F-35's baseline limitations. In its standard configuration, the jet's unrefueled combat radius is roughly 670 nautical miles. For Israel, that 670-mile limit falls short of its primary strategic requirement. A round-trip strike mission targeting infrastructure deep inside Iran requires an operational reach of over 1,700 kilometers. Historically, hitting those targets meant relying on a fleet of aging Boeing 707-based tankers. But in contested airspace, these massive, slow-moving refueling aircraft are easily targeted, potentially leaving the strike force stranded. Simply adding more fuel isn't easy, because standard pylon-mounted drop tanks act like radar magnets. Their sharp angles and surface discontinuities reflect incoming waves directly back to enemy emitters, effectively neutralizing the F-35's primary advantage, its invisibility. This friction between fuel capacity and radar cross-section left the IAF with a difficult choice: accept the vulnerability of tankers or find a way to re-engineer the physics of the aircraft itself. Israel was able to pursue a custom solution because of a unique agreement reached with the US government before the first Adir was delivered. While every other F-35 operator flies a jet locked to a standard hardware and software baseline, Israel is the only nation permitted to integrate its own domestic electronic warfare suites, mission computers, and structural modifications. This strategy follows the precedent set by the F-15I RAM. Decades ago, Israel took a standard American air superiority fighter and began a heavy customization process. By integrating indigenous avionics and conformal fuel tanks, they transformed the F-15 from a high-speed interceptor into a long-range, heavy strike platform capable of carrying massive payloads across the region. The success of the RAM proved that localized engineering could bridge the gap between a general-purpose American design and Israel's specific deep strike requirements. To solve the range issue, the Israeli Ministry of Defense awarded Elbit Systems a $34 million contract to adapt a Cyclone fuel tank design, originally seen on the F-16I, specifically for the F-35. These are conformal tanks, meaning they hug the fuselage to follow the aerodynamic and electromagnetic contours of the aircraft, rather than hanging off pylon hardpoints. By coating these tanks in radar-absorbent materials and aligning their geometry with the jet's skin, engineers can extend the aircraft's fuel capacity without significantly increasing its visibility to enemy air defenses. This integration is reported to push the Adir's combat radius well beyond 1,700 kilometers, making round-trip strikes on Iran possible without needing a tanker. But reaching the target is only the first step. To stay hidden, the F-35 usually relies on its two internal weapons bays, which can only hold a limited number of munitions. To increase the jet's lethality, Israel has formalized a beast mode configuration, integrating external wing racks capable of carrying 4 additional missiles. While these external racks do sacrifice the jet's minimum radar signature, they provide massive firepower for missions where enemy air defenses have already been degraded or destroyed by an initial stealth wave. By combining these modular upgrades, Israel has given the Adir a dual identity: a long-range, penetrating ghost for the first strike, and a heavy payload arsenal plane for everything that follows. This shift in capability fundamentally alters the deterrence calculus in the Middle East. It signals that Israel's most advanced stealth assets can now reach targets in Tehran independently. Removing the dependence on slow, vulnerable tankers means strike packages are harder to track and easier to launch at a moment's notice. The success of the Adir's modifications has already caught the attention of the US Air Force, which is now evaluating similar external fuel tank requirements for its own 2026 budget. For the US Navy, these upgrades are even more critical. Carrier-based F-35Cs facing the vast distances of the Indo-Pacific could use this technology to stay relevant in a conflict where tankers may not be available. What began as a local Israeli engineering project is now providing a roadmap for how fifth-generation fighters across the globe can overcome the limits of their original design. Thanks for watching. For more on the future of defense technology, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.